halftime and post the whole time the chat live. We around our folks, but we gon' keep the chat tight, keeping out trolls. That's why you gotta get your green name on, your pregame on, cause ain't nobody doing it better, reviewing it better, building rapport so you in tune with the players, with some grit, pride, stick, so you can scoop you some cheddar. Get your mug or your shirt with the letters. Game time.
That's it. That's it. Auburn has lost to Georgia here. What's the final score? I don't even know the final score.
31-13.
31-13. Come on in and come on to the altar of the War Report here today to talk about what happened. Caesar, you weren't on pregame or halftime. Give me your thoughts here real quick on what you saw from Auburn.
I mean, man, listen, losing to Georgia is never good, right? Auburn is not supposed to like Georgia at all, right? You hate Georgia. So losing to them, losing to your rivals is never a good feeling. Losing, was it 8 in a row now against Georgia? Auburn has not beaten Georgia since 2017, haven't beaten them in Sanford Stadium between the hedges since 2005. You want to see streaks like those come to an end. Right. So it's frustrating to lose to Georgia. However, what I will say is this is up the alley of what I predicted would happen. I actually had Georgia winning 34-13. So I was pretty close to what actually happened on the field. Last time Auburn was in Georgia, Mike, Auburn gave up 500 yards of offense. Auburn didn't even get to 300 yards this year. And again, we have to start with more victories here because this is kind of where we are as a program, right? Auburn actually ran for almost 137 yards against this Georgia defense, threw for 337 yards, held Georgia to under 400 yards of total offense. Auburn hasn't even allowed anyone to get over 400 yards this season, right?
Nope. Hasn't happened.
When you have stats like that, like these teams were so even, Mike, statistically, time of possession was pretty close. Georgia had 21 first downs to Auburn's 19. No turnovers.
Not a single turnover.
Auburn had 5 penalties to Georgia 6. That tells me this was a winnable game. That's what that tells me, that this was a winnable game. And we can talk about what some of the differences are. You can argue with game plan, some of the things that happen, but I'm seeing this team actually get better, believe it or not, even though this is Auburn's third straight loss and Auburn is 2-4. It's hard to see where the improvements are being made, but Auburn isn't turning the ball over. Like, that's improvement, Mike.
Yeah.
We were turning the ball over in bunches and losses like this.
Well, they protected the ball a lot, I think, with the play calling today, certainly,
Yes.
by keeping the ball on the ground. They didn't push the ball down the field very much. There was almost nothing over the middle of the field.
Right.
Obviously, there were some things that they were guarded against a very tenacious Georgia defense. Before we get too much further in here, guys, if you are watching this post game, I want to encourage you to sign up, become a member, join the Green Name Gang. If you were trying to get onto the halftime and you couldn't, it's because you didn't have a green name. So hit that join button, join the War Report community. We got more to talk about here. Dustin is going nuts in the background. I hope that's good for Vandy. It is. Also, hit that gifted membership button to give the gift of the war. Before we're going to talk about what Dustin is seeing, I'm going to bring him in here in just a second. Also, this segment is brought to you in part by Vintage 2298 Restaurant and Butcher Shop. Please visit them if you're in the Auburn area. Right now, after the game, if you're looking for some good eats, go soothe your soul over at Vintage. I got Randall Baldwin cooking up some great eats for you guys. Dustin, welcome. What's going on, man? Update us real quick.
I'm a little behind than everybody else, I would assume, because I've got it on my cell phone, but it's 33-28. Vandy pick. It looks like they're going to be setting up on
the Alabama 14.
First and goal, yeah. They're pushing to go by double digits here.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer might get his first dose of that Alabama fan base today. He might F around and find out here in a minute.
Hopefully. It looks like Vandy just called a timeout here, but they've got the ball in the Alabama 14. Guys, back to our game.
No, actually, they're inside the 10, guys.
on the Alabama 6. Yeah, you're right. All right. Back to our game. We can commiserate in their pain here in a second if it happens. Look, nobody expected Auburn to win this game, but as expected, Auburn did cover, and that in large part was because I did not feel like they were going to be able to run it up on Auburn's defense. Dustin, what did you think about the defensive performance in this one? Let's start with bright spots, man. Keldrick Falk kind of went off today. Good to see that he was okay. It looked like he had a little bit of a leg injury or something there at the end. But they've yet so far to allow 400 total yards of offense to an opponent this year.
Yeah, this game kind of played out the way I thought it was going to, and I don't know. I agree with C-Dub. This is one of them games where you actually come out, and it's weird to say 31-13, but you guys know I don't sunshine pump. I feel like the team is getting better, and that's what makes those 3 losses before this one so frustrating.
Yeah.
Is that you're looking at it and you're like, man, I would be okay. Let's be conservative. Say you just blew one of those games of your 3 losses. You feel like you could still be coming out 4-2, and we'd be sitting at the bye week saying, hey, this thing is going. And that's what sucks is when you watch the games, you realize it is going in the right direction. One thing I will say about the defense, I'm not blaming the defense. You know that they did all they could do. This is the first game where it's like, all right, we're just outmanned. Right. If this is going to be the game plan offensively going forward, yes, there will be less explosive plays than we saw the first 5 games. Mm-hmm. But I think you'll see the turnovers cut down. So I like it. I think if Auburn plays this way offensively going forward, you can steal a game at Missouri, who looks vulnerable. You can steal a game at Kentucky, who's a week-by-week team. You can get some wins if you keep playing that way on offense. Defensively, Mike, what I want to see is, and I'm not blaming them, but this is 2 weeks in a row where you haven't created a turnover. Let's create a turnover moving forward and maybe set the offense up and help the offense out. They didn't play bad. It's just, again, they're outmanned, young, all the stuff we talked about on the pregame show. But I would like to see some sack fumbles, some interceptions. We're not even these last 2 games. I haven't even felt like Auburn was really close to making a turnover. So that is one thing that I'm looking at in the second half of the season, that maybe we can find a way to set our offense up in better position, create some more chaos. But overall, pleased with the defensive effort. It is what it is in a situation like this. When Hugh Freeze is just now coming in, trying to get the talent back right. If you look at the way that Auburn's recruited over the last 4 or 5 years, and you compare that to the way that Georgia has, this game kind of played out the way that it should play out on paper. But I'm proud of the effort, proud of the fight. Other than number 8, I don't know what you're doing, not getting in there and putting your head in that guy's pads and making a block there. This is a game where Cam Coleman, you're better than that. You've got to play some football. And I just expect more out of Cam Coleman. It didn't have an impact on the game at all, but I was really disappointed at him not getting there and making that block. That was soft.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. I just want to make a quick correction. They did actually give up 448 yards of total offense to New Mexico. So that was the only team to break. In Power 5 play, they've yet to give up 400 yards of total offense. I agree with your sentiments about the defense. They were going to have to create some short fields for this offense if they wanted to win. Jarquez Hunter, guys, went into the 4th quarter with 91 yards rushing and came out of the 4th quarter with 91 yards rushing.
I think because you were down, though, right? Like I've been critical of you not giving the ball to Jarquez, but I think that we entered the 4th quarter down by 14. Like you got to kind of throw it to get back into it.
Yeah. I mean, they ran the ball some in that quarter, but it was a game. It was a game. I think he did well in this one. First down, Vandy.
Touchdown,
Vandy. Wow, 39. Wow. Boy. Anyway, so Auburn again falls to Georgia in this one. They did cover the spread. We expected that. They did cover the spread in this one. Going back to the offense side of the ball, look, in the red zone, there was a QB draw called. It just felt like they were, let's not do anything to let this quarterback make a mistake in the red zone. Caesar, what did you think about the red zone play calling, man? I feel like it kind of may have prevented turnovers, but I also felt like it kind of kept Auburn out of this game.
Yeah, I agree. In certain moments, Mike, it's reminiscent of what we saw last year. You remember when we were questioning the identity of Auburn's offense last year because it didn't look like a Hugh Freeze offense. And what it sounds like to me is that this coaching staff isn't comfortable letting it rip with Peyton Thorne in critical moments because we've seen what has happened up to this point. So you're calling a conservative game plan, whereas last year we saw Peyton Thorne running it a lot when we were wondering why isn't he throwing the ball. And I think it just goes back to it, Mike. I don't know if you're comfortable with him throwing the fade or running the RPO in the red zone, turning the ball over, making the incorrect read, just putting you behind the chain. So you're calling a conservative play. The play call wasn't bad per se. With the QB run, it's just Percy Lewis just was having a bad game up to that point, and it just got blown up by Georgia. So you didn't anticipate that happening when you call that play, but it just seems like this coaching staff is, when it comes to those key moments, they're going to be conservative and just hope for the best in terms of those. And moving forward, you kind of hope that doesn't continue because you do become a bit predictable down the road. So hopefully they can correct whatever it is that's allowing them to feel as though they have to kind of dial back the offense just so they don't turn the ball over. Because again, you look great against this, but you're putting that on film against upcoming opponents. So you're going to have to become a bit more imaginative in your play calling.
You guys got a lot to say. Let's get to the comments here. Got lots of super chats we need to get through. Mojo Nixon loves fried chicken. I'm glad I did not start Auburn as a freshman in 2021. They have gone 19 wins, 25 losses with more L's coming in, have not had a single significant win in the entire 4 years at Auburn. Like, wow. Okay. Lots of depressing stuff there. Heavy says, yes, we lost, but this feels different. I don't know that it feels different to me. It feels the same. It feels like the defense has played solid and the offense can't do much here. They tried to protect the football, which they did, but you've got to take some chances and make plays, and that didn't happen. Big Homie Lander says, Free saw Pavia in the portal and said, nah, I'm good. Also, we should take a sack every time to get out of the red zone, so maybe we'll score. You know what's crazy is Diego Pavia is like a giant slayer, apparently. A lot of fun was made of him coming into Jordan, and now he might be top 3 quarterbacks in the conference here. Let's see here. Heavy comes back and says, it feels like we are close. I can see the corner. I'm ready to turn. Is Auburn a quarterback away? What's close, Heavy? What's close?
Quarterback is not a bad place to start, Mike. It's not a bad place to start because, again, that is why Auburn isn't running its offense in totality. Like, and I asked us, I was like, so I guess we're no longer an up-tempo offense anymore. We just get in a huddle and line up and run the play, right? We're not pacing teams, and we're not, giving the QB a lot of decisions to make. And I think with all the other things appearing to round into shape, Auburn begin to play better overall as a team. What would happen if you had a dynamic guy back there who is making the correct reads consistently and doing what the coaches want? What do you think this team would look like?
Right.
Everything else considered. So
yeah,
maybe that's not a bad place to start.
Yep. Heavy comes back. I'm sorry. Riley comes in. Where are you? Yeah. Auburn soccer beat LSU 4-0. Goose egg. Listen, lots of great things happen in the Olympic sports. I don't know if you guys have been following. We've been covering volleyball. Those girls,
ladies, are killing it.
Undefeated in SEC play right now. They are doing fantastic. Don't beat Ryan Williams again. No, that's incomplete.
I want to say this though about being close, Mike. When we look at all these freshmen that are out there playing, think about Keldrick Falk. He showed a whole lot of signs as a freshman, got a whole lot of reps as a true freshman, and now look where his game at is his sophomore year. So I think it's reasonable that you could say guys like Caleb Harris, DeMarcus Reddick, they can take a jump similar to that in their second year. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. It's frustrating when you're 2-4 knowing you shouldn't be 2-4. I totally agree. I've been really hard on the coaching for putting us in that situation, but I do see the roster getting better. And I at 2-4, I know that might sound ridiculous, man, but it's just I I do see it. I do see that corner there. Auburn's got to find out how to win close games. Today, you're going up against an opponent where you're just outmatched.
Yeah,
You gotta play
but yeah,
perfect to be.
I
yeah,
don't,
right.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say the roster is. I don't even think the roster's better. Guys, the roster's better. I don't ever think that Auburn's problem has been talent. You know what I mean? I don't think it was talent. I think the issue has been and will be the system, play calling for the players that you have. So, that's where they're at right now. Let's see here. Tiffany B gave away 5 War Report memberships. We appreciate that, Tiffany. James Stalling says Alabama is getting povied. Yes, they are. We're turning that into a verb. Now they're getting popular. Dustin is so tickled right now about what's happening with Alabama. You got to find the joy in.
I'm about to say, man. I mean, look, and I'm gonna celebrate when Miami claps Cal tonight too, because I told them they're mid.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, but Cal. So
Agreed.
Yeah, they'll find out soon.
They will find out soon. Let's see here. Stephen Neely says, "Are we ready to move on to next season? At what point do we give live reps to other QBs in the room?"
I really don't know if that's going to happen, Steven.
Yeah, I might be wishful thinking here at this point.
Yeah. I hate to burst your bubble on that one, but
okay. But do we think that Peyton Thorne listen? Do you Peyton Thorne or Hank Brown give you a better opportunity to win at Missouri and at Kentucky? I still think it's Peyton Thorne, and if you can get back to 4-4, you come back home, and you still have some life. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that's going to happen. I mean, we got to see Auburn win a game, beat a Power 4 team before we actually believe it. But you got to go in with Peyton Thorne, and until maybe if you get to 2-7 or something, then I agree with that. But Missouri and Kentucky are beatable teams, and you can come back home with Vanderbilt, who obviously looks pretty scary right now. But Vanderbilt and ULM, there's still an opportunity to get to a bowl game. It's an uphill battle, but I think you still got to go with Thorne until you're out of that.
Agreed. Caesar, thoughts on Thorne moving forward?
Thorne is making the mistakes that I was hoping he would make at the beginning of the season, right? Making a play on that 4th down, what he did there, missing certain guys in the passing game. This was the Thorne I was expecting to see, to be honest with you guys. Obviously, I wasn't expecting the multiple turnover a game Thorne in the Cal game, but this is the Thorne that I think Hugh Freeze trusts to move forward with. Obviously, Auburn has not been winning games, but Thorne is playing better. Obviously, they've adjusted the offense to fit some of the things that he's good at. And I agree with Dustin. Until Auburn drops more of those games, and it just seems like Auburn is not even close to going to a bowl, I could see Hugh Freeze moving on to the future to give reps to some of the other guys. But to now, I think you're right with Peyton.
Yeah, I do. I agree, guys. I think it's just going to be really difficult to play any other quarterback at this point. Mike Davis says it's 3rd and whatever, and the line judge has UGA's back. Proud of how they played, best they've looked all year. Hopefully it's a good sign. Yeah, I don't know how they called that a touchdown.
Oh, pathetic.
Yeah, I don't know how they called that a touchdown. I thought that they called it, and on replay it even looked like less of a touchdown, but you couldn't overturn it. So, what is going on there? I don't understand how they arrived there at all. Heavy says, going to give some memberships to celebrate no Auburn turnovers. I like that. And there are the memberships. So we appreciate that. Clint Murphy says, how are we still supporting Thorne? He changes play calls at the line in short yardage situations that absolutely make no sense. Look, Hugh Freeze was tearing into Peyton Thorne at one point on the sidelines over that play where he pulled the ball from Jarquez. Didn't feel like there were many options there. I don't know if there was a good option on that play, honestly. Like, even if he had handed him off, where was he going? Where was Jarquez going? I don't know. You guys remember the play? Any thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that was. Like, to me, it looked like Hugh Freeze made a call and Georgia made a better call. And at that point, it doesn't matter what you do on the field. Sometimes the defense just wins, and Georgia made a better call.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see him answer that. I'm sure he's going to get asked in the post game. If not, I'm sure you guys will ask him Monday, Mike. My thing would be is I hope it was not a zone read giving Peyton Thorne a decision. Like I hope that Peyton just messed up and made his own call there, because if you're Hugh and that was any other decision there but handed off to 27, then I'm pretty concerned, because you just spent a couple minutes Monday explaining why it didn't happen last time, and that if you were in that position again, you would hand it to 27. We know that in clutch moments like that, you got to have that moment that Peyton Thorne's going to make the wrong decision. I hate that, but it is what it is. He's shown that. So if it was a zone read, putting it in Peyton Thorne's hands to make the decision, then that's very disappointing on the head coach, in my opinion. You just turn around, give it to 27, quit letting Peyton Thorne make decisions in clutch moments, because you see how you have enough evidence. You know how it's going to play out. So I'll be interested to see how he answers that question.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting to see how he answers that one. Fire Freeze gives away the 5 memberships. We appreciate that. You guys keep the super chats coming here. Our guy Matthew Reeves comes in and says, I don't like the RPO with Peyton Thorne running it. I feel like he's not all there, not bright to run it. I'm not going to comment there. Jordan Ingram says, pretty sure that that PI on Perry in the end zone.
Yeah, it towards I think that last drive they had where Peyton Thorne threw it up to Perry Thompson, and Jackson was defending it for Georgia. He didn't play the ball. He was really handsy with Perry, but they didn't call it because they were trying to get the game over with.
Fire Free says, I hope I'm wrong, but does it feel like the relationship between Cam and Thorne is souring? It just looks like he isn't giving his all out there. I think if you're Cam Coleman, and I talked about this before, like, you haven't lost a lot of games. You're not used to not getting the ball. Like, you're used to being the guy. And I asked Freeze about this, about keeping the young freshmen engaged in spite of, what is losing for the first time for a lot of them. And he said his message was welcome to life. This is life. Feels like some of these lessons could be taught a different way, but I think it's making their job harder at the end of the season to re-recruit your roster here. D-Lev says, Lord, please let this be the last year of mediocrity. My heart can't take any more. On top of that, I'm a diehard Raiders fan. Keep me in your prayers. I just wonder. I think there's going to be a lot of talk about QB in the portal and where you go at QB from here.
That's how you re-recruit those guys, Mike. you telling them, I'm getting someone who's going to get you the ball out the portal. That's how you re-recruit them at this point. Because obviously, next year is going to be different, and you're going to have to ensure them that it's going to be different in a positive way because of who's going to be the gunslinger and running your offense. To me, I think that's how you keep those guys engaged.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anthony Long says, as long as Thorne is QB1, I really don't expect to win. Peyton doesn't go through his progressions. Where's Hank? I'm dead inside. I think they've just tried to dumb this offense down to what they think Thorne does well enough. Right? Are there any progressions for him to go through at this point? The way they're playing, they're calling plays. I don't know, man. I don't think that. I think they're done with that version. They really, really simplified this thing down to a version of it that they felt like he could execute. TJ Lou comes in and says, the defense did good, especially in the first half. I feel like the QB is the main issue. Too many bad decisions happening that cause a domino effect on defense. Here's what I will say about the QB in the I think that the problem is that because you don't have dynamic QB play, your offense you're not able to run your offense. It looked like they tried to work Malcolm Simmons in there toward the end. Again, if you're going to win a game like this, you're going to have to take some chances. They played it safe and the defense kept them in it. But where were the chances on offense? You didn't turn the ball over, but you certainly never felt like you had a chance to win this game offensively. So that's tough. Clint Murphy says, why do we think we will win with Thorne every week? He proves you wrong. Well, your QB room is what you made it at this point. So I don't know how we can expect anything different. Heavy comes back and says, I can't wait until the refs are AU fans. Well, look, man, that's why you got to win the home games. Yeah, so you got to win the home games, man. Rick says, 4th and 1, Peyton Thorne shifted the formation before the snap. You guys know what he's talking about here?
I guess he's probably talking about that play where he handed it off it was supposed to be a handoff to Jarquez and he kept it, probably. But I'm looking forward to watch the film, so I can see that.
Wow, Vandy is about to do this, guys. Clint Murphy says, frustrated, early drinking day, award damn Eagle. Look, man, there's a lot of drinking going on before this one. Lots of alcohol flowing
It's a lot of drinking
straight
this
from the
week.
veins. Yeah. Look, Ike is in Athens. Ike, give me a thumbs up. Oh, well, you're in here.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're gonna pop straight in. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Give us the report from the ground there in Athens.
Say it again.
Give us the report there from the ground in Athens.
It was terrible, man. It was absolutely abysmal. It was just depressing. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it.
All right, we're gonna pop
I don't like being. Is that better?
Pop Mike out for a second. That's a little better, yeah.
There we go. All right. Anyway, yeah. So Coach Hugh Freeze in press conference, trying to express a little bit of excitement for the remainder of the season, but he essentially said that, okay, yeah, we feel like we maybe could win every game left because we've got enough talent to do that. But you can just tell that he feels very dejected by the output of what happened in this game. He didn't feel as if the team gave maximum effort for the full game.
Were there any questions asked about the offense and the game plan? What did he have to say about the game plan offensively today?
I'm breaking up a little bit too much here, guys. I don't think that it's gonna work for me here. I hear you guys, but it's breaking up every time you start talking. So I think maybe it's me.
All right, yeah, we're gonna take you out here, Ike, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow on the weekend tailgate. So yeah. Anyway, I tried to express some optimism. It sounds like in that post game. We're gonna post that up for you guys later. Let's get back to some super chats here. Heavy says keep Thorne, but don't let him adjust blocking. Take away the autonomy to adjust blocking schemes. TK says, so you're bidding on a transfer QB to be him. Didn't happen last time. We need some experience in that room. How we're gonna get it for insurance against a portal QB not being great. Look, you've got to do something at QB. I don't. It's either freshman or like you've got to go get a sure thing in the portal.
You tamper, Mike. You tamper.
You tamper? Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just I feels like you just got to go get a sure thing in the portal.
What I would say to TK is this is the scenario Hugh Freeze has created because you blew year one. And now you're on your way to a potential losing season in year two. You don't really have time to work with a kid out of high school and develop him and go through all of those mistakes. It seems logical to us as fans watching to say, hey, let's just start with the future. The season isn't going the way you think it is. But Hugh Freeze has probably made some promises and guarantees as to where this program should be heading. And it doesn't look like it so far. You're sitting at 2-4. And a lot of the issues, not all, but a lot of the issues that you've been experiencing has been with the QB position. You've already shuffled through 2 QBs already in this season. And so Hugh Freeze has already shown that he's more comfortable with an experienced guy, which is why it took him so long to pull Peyton Thorne and not too long to pull Hank Brown. He's more comfortable with an experienced guy, whether you agree with it or not. If that's his comfort zone, he needs to go get a guy who is proven, who can play in an offense, who can light it up, kind of like what you saw with Cam Ward in the last portal cycle. You need to go get someone who can do what you feel you need a QB to run in your offense. That's the thing there, TK.
Yeah. It's definitely. Tiffany B comes in and said, despite the missed TD catch, Malcolm Simmons is improving game to game. I really like him. Look, Malcolm Simmons is a guy. The only reason we're not seeing him more allegedly is because he doesn't know the playbook well enough, and he's got to get his assignments done. But we should be seeing more of him as the season goes along. Heavy says, Athens internet is dookie. Sorry, Ike. It is dookie. Everything there is dookie. It's terrible. Terrible there in Athens. Justin, I know you got to get out of here. Any final words before you jump?
Oh, yeah. I mean, today's not really that surprising to me. I'm frustrated that this morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? I can't wait for the day to where I'm like, fired up and hate Georgia again. It's gotten to that point to where with Georgia where I don't even think we're going to put up a fight. I know that we don't match up with them, and I just hate where this rivalry's gone. It's definitely gone the territory that Tennessee and Alabama rivalry did for so long. And I look forward to the day to when I wake up on the day of the Deep South's oldest rivalry and I have a little bit of hope again. And I've just kind of beat a dead horse here, I guess. This is just what makes, to me, I'm more frustrated today, right now, about the Cal loss, the Arkansas loss, and the Oklahoma loss.
Right.
Because you should be sitting here conservatively at least 4-2 coming to a bye week. Now, look, and I've said it. I said it last week. You know, C-Dub, I said Auburn's got a culture of losing. So I feel like Auburn's going to be in a tight game in the fourth quarter in 2 weeks at Missouri. And do you get over the hump? Can Auburn go up into Missouri and get a win? I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not impressed with what I've seen Missouri this year. I think Auburn can get them. Can you go up there and play the Clee football game and come out with a dub? Then if you can do that, same question for Lexington. There's a route to where Auburn can come back home 4-4. And then you still got something to play for. I'm not predicting that'll happen. I have to see Auburn do it. But if you're Auburn, come in here, fight your ass off, and play for something the rest of the season. I want to see what this locker room is made of. Anchor down. Catch us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time over on the Up Tempo podcast. Me and Blake with a full breakdown and reaction to the game. Thank you guys for having me on. It is War Damn Eagle always. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Dustin. I'm gonna stay on with Caesar
and
here.
I really was listening, Dustin. It's just that,
This is much more important than anything I just said, for sure.
Yeah, misery loves company here, Dustin.
Hey, before you get out of here, say it in unison. Hey.
Hey.
I'm gonna go put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
Okay. All right. You're out of here. You're done. Yeah. As we speak, Vanderbilt gets a first down. Alabama burns their last timeout. They are about to get Diego Pavia, which I know is going to give our chat a lot of joy here. Let's get back to some comments.
Balance your Saturday, man. It kind of balances your day. You know what I mean?
It does. Integrity Sportscast says Hank should get the rest of the season. If we are losing, give Hank a chance to get some experience. So there's a legit battle with Deuce in the spring/summer. Love that. Max says, yeah, Peyton may be the best option, but he's losing the locker room to me. Yep. Feels like Thorne doesn't know the playbook either.
This right here, Mike.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's right here. And maybe it's not that he doesn't know the playbook. It's just that there's a disconnect between whatever he's doing in practice versus when it's game time and the lights are on. Right? That's been the issue in most of these losses, is that Hugh Freeze expects him to do one thing and he does something totally different in key critical moments. And it drives him, fans, everyone up a wall when he does something different. And there's a disconnect there.
Yeah, there is definitely a disconnect. Heavy says it's only week insert number here. It's only week 6.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Heavy says last
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Last dono before, I don't even know what this. What are you doing? What are you doing here, bro?
And the wife cut me off. Last donation before.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Yes,
dono.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, the wife cut you off. What kind of household you running over there, bro? Look.
Stay out of his business.
Look. I mean, we're not going to stay on long tonight. Alabama is losing. We're definitely going to celebrate that. But look, at the end of the day, Caesar, this wasn't an unexpected result. This was an expected result. It feels like maybe they had a chance to move the needle forward. The defense looks great to me. The offense needs some work, but it's going to be a lot of talk about quarterback here over the next few weeks. If Auburn cannot get the offense rolling, and if they can't find 4 more wins on this schedule to win a bowl game, I will tell you this: Missouri doesn't look so insurmountable next week.
Right.
Oh, actually, we got a bye week next week, but week after. Missouri, I think, is a winnable game. Kentucky may be a winnable game. And Vanderbilt may not be. Who knows?
I mean, A&M looked impressive today.
Yeah, yep, they did. I picked A&M. Oh, I picked them. I said it. I thought Missouri were I thought they were frauds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So again, like there's some team, and this is what happens every season, Mike. Teams that look like they're going to give us a hard time, they look vulnerable, and vice versa. Teams that we're overlooking, they're teams that we're concerned about. So you just never know as the season pans out. Obviously, you didn't expect Auburn to be a 2-4 team at this point, but there is some hope for Auburn to see even more improvement, build on what they did today. Hopefully, they can keep these guys engaged, Mike. To me, that's the concern. How do you get a team that's sitting at 2-4? A lot of guys on this team, young guys who aren't used to this. How do you keep them engaged to where they're playing at a high level to get you in a position where you can win those tight games?
Yeah,
That's the coaching job I'm looking for this staff to pull off, Mike.
Yeah, well, coaching is going to be the name of the game here. It's going to be what can you coach out of the rest of this season? How can you scheme something up? Find 4 more wins on this schedule, get to a bowl game, hold your recruiting class together, and continue to build for the future. Caesar, that's all I got tonight, man. That's all I got tonight. I appreciate everybody for joining us to talk a little bit about Auburn versus Georgia. We're going to get out of here, but we'll be back at you guys tomorrow on the weekend tailgate to give our more detailed thoughts on where Auburn goes from here. As we're signing off, and as always, War Eagle.